Hey, Stoney here with another game of Mechabellum. If you want to see a game where the board is filled with a very complex set of units, then this is the one for you. At the bottom here, we have Impertinent playing as a Fortified Specialist, and he is up against Fort Build playing as a Speed Specialist. This is a 1700 MMR game. Right off the bat, we have Tarantula and Marksman. Extremely strong starting position. Their Tarantula is going to tank for days, allowing the Marksman to do the job in case your opponent also picks something like the Tarantula. Added 2 squads of Crawlers, mostly there for distraction, up against the opponent's Stormcrawlers. Now, interestingly, I think he sold a pack of the Stormcrawlers. Or no, I think he sold a pack of Mustangs and get a pack of Stormcrawlers, because Stormcrawlers are known to be very effective against the Tarantula. As you can see, 2 volleys, that Tarantula is already gone. And without the Tarantula, then he has no chaff clear, which means these Mustangs and Crawlers are going to run amok. And the question is it going to get tower before the Tarantula moves over? And the answer is going to be yes. And here we go, the Stormcrawler shooting at the Tarantula. And this brings an interesting point, which is just because you're given those set of units doesn't mean you have to stick with them for round 1. It's always okay to sell and get into something a bit more suitable for the board. Red saw an opportunity of getting rid of the only chaff clear on the opponent's side, where he himself having a board that's filled with chaff, both in Crawlers and Mustangs, and he went for it, and it paid off. All right, reinforcements. Ooh, lots of interesting cars. They're all really good. I mean, with the exception of Elite Rhino, I will go with any one of them. Looking at the blue side, I think with Tarantula, with probably not improved Phoenix, he already has Marksman. So blue improved Steel Ball is what I was going to say. It's really nice. Mass-produced fortresses is also really good. Depends on what sort of tech you have on your fortress. Because remember, with mass-produced fortresses, their technology is just as effective. The shields is still giving the same amount, right? If they have rocket punch, it's still going to give you the same damage. It's just that their own HP and damage is decreased. All right, so blue is going to be taking improved steel ball, and that's also going to be the choice for red. It makes sense for red because he is a speed spec, so that his units are just going to pop in and start doing the damage. I think blue needs a solid answer against these Stormcrawlers. Right now, this Tarantula dies way too early before it gets the job done of killing most of his chaff. So having a bit more distraction would definitely be good. I don't know if the distraction should be coming from these set of Crawlers. If I were him, I would put the Crawlers behind the towers. Because right now, these set of Crawlers just get killed almost instantly. On the other side, we have distraction Crawlers that's hopefully going to hold up these steel balls long enough before the Tarantulas die, really. Because once they died, I think the rest of the... Oh no, he's got arc lights. They'll still have some sort of chaff gear. Alright, let's get to the Stormcrawlers. No, we didn't get the Stormcrawlers. We're just going to get maybe 2 volleys down and getting rid of the chaff gear. Okay. Alright. No chaff clear, steel balls running through. Round 3, unit drop. Okay. Rhino is always fun to take, and if you take the Rhino and just put Final Blitz on it, it's a pretty cheeky way of getting rid of steel ball Crawlers. Typhoon is a good unit. It's just a good all-around unit. At lower levels, they're great chaff clear, but once you level them up and you give them that rocket, they work as a very strong anti-medium sized unit. Sabertooth, you can get it for sell. Sandworm is not too shabby. If you're going with steel balls, you can drop down Sandworm, and later on you can drop down a Wraith. Alright, so it's going to be level 3 Sabertooth. This guy is going to take forever to bring down because the only 2 units that can deal the damage are these 2 marksmen. Everything else is just going to get one-shotted by the Sabertooth. 1800. Yeah, it's going to one-shot Typhoons. He's going to two-shot tarantulas. Yeah, it's not going to be a pretty board here for our blue player. On the other side, we're going to have balls, now level 2 with level 2 crawlers. And the only thing that's defending against it is typhoons and crawlers. These typhoons, if they get lucky, they might kill one steel ball before they are completely obliterated. Okay, so not looking too good so far with the blues board, but he has one saving grace. He has a cheeky flank. Now let's just see what the timing of that flank is. If the flank can get to the tower before the steel balls kills all of these typhoons, then the extra 50% damage might help, but it doesn't look like it though. The steel balls are going to get to the typhoons, and on the other side, the saber-tooth are not. Oh, they are going down with the debuff. So that's good. At least you don't have to worry about that extra 200 hit on your HP. Also getting the stone crawlers, not too bad. Double tower debuff. Now these steel balls are going to take forever trying to get rid of these crawlers, while this typhoon is just working his ass off trying to get one more steel ball. Can he get it though? No, barely getting that one more steel ball. That's so bad. All right, we got a few unit reinforcement drops, super heavy armor. That's a no-brainer on that level 2 steel ball. For blue, he could go for super heavy armor himself and maybe put it on a giant later on. Or even on a pack of typhoons might be interesting, but he has to answer the steel balls. So he doesn't have any good cards here, aside maybe from super heavy. Man, that's not even good. That's very situational. I would skip if I were blue. So he's got two problems. Problem number one, what will he do against the saber-tooth? Good thing that these two marksmen are not leveled, so once you get them levels, they can actually deal with them quite effectively. But the real problem comes from this side, with the level 2 steel balls with super heavy armor. Alright, so it's going to be rockets for the typhoons. As I mentioned earlier, typhoons can be modded into a decent medium-sized unit killer. And a lot of the damage is going to come from these rockets. I think for blue, he might need to have some late arriving chaff. Alright, more typhoons, no chaff. Nothing to tie up the steel balls just yet. Phoenix is interesting. I think the idea was let's get rid of these Mustangs, and then the Phoenix can maybe just take the whole game. But it is interesting. I mean, there's nothing wrong here with Blue's board. A lot of things that I'm saying right now are just very subjective. He is going to do okay against his composition. I just felt like instead of the Phoenixes, just add 2 more squads of crawlers. And that's going to help. Like, for example, this pack of steel ball right here. If you have 2 more packs of crawlers, these steel balls would have never been able to get that damage, right? Same on this side. If you got another pack of crawler, these steel balls would just be stuck on shooting crawlers, and then these typhoons will win the round. But Phoenix is a safety measure. As you can see right now, there are no more Mustangs, which means these Phoenix are free to pick up every single unit. Round 5, super heavy armor is offered again. That is so good for the steel ball player. So that's going to go on this unit right here. So double super heavy armor, and these steel balls will continue to level. This one's going to level 3 already. The higher the level of these steel balls, the exponentially more problematic they become, because at any point they can simply hit energy absorption, and they will essentially be your endgame giant killers that will never die. So with blue, there's this urgency of getting rid of the steel balls, at the very least preventing them from leveling too hard. And the cards, unfortunately, aren't helping him. With red, he didn't take super heavy armor. Instead, he opting for range spec, which is interesting. He doesn't need a lot of range. Most of his units are already on the line, or they're moving very fast. So I'm not sure if the range spec is going to give them that additional boost. And it is an expensive card, right? 400? That's a lot of money. Okay, so for our blue player, that is going to be a skip. And he continues to struggle with these late game steel balls, and this one is going to be really hard. Level 3 with super heavy armor and improved steel balls. Each one of them has enough HP as a level 1 fortress. So essentially, he's facing down 4 level 1 fortresses walking towards you at 22 meters per second and beating the heck out of you. I mean, the rock has barely scratched it. All right, we're going to keep an eye on both sides. I think on this side, the level 2 marksmen are doing God's work of bringing down that saber tooth, and they're also contributing a lot with these steel balls. The flank, wow, with the replicate and a heavy armor. Ooh, that's what blue took this turn. He took the heavy armor item, put it on the crawlers, and now crawlers with 1600 HP. That I completely missed that maneuver. Because the only thing that's preventing that flank from going out of control is those Mustangs, and Mustangs are terrible against crawlers, especially of the same level. So well played, Blue. Well played. Improved file control is taken for Blue. Makes a lot of sense. It's a really good item on things like Typhoons. Maybe, yeah, there you go on that Typhoon. And for Red, I think Assault Fans is interesting. I wouldn't mind taking Assault Fans instead of Crawlers. Just getting that additional damage with your fast-moving army right there at the front. Pretty cool. And it doesn't cost me much. It costs you 50 resources to get your fans super jacked, doing 40% more damage and running a lot faster. Yeah. Yes, please. War Factory goes down for our blue player. The question is, does this War Factory have enough firepower to deal with these level 3 super heavy armor steel balls? I think so. Maybe. Maybe. These balls are going to get pretty close, which means this War Factory will be firing with 4 cannons. 7,000 per shot every 2 seconds. I think that should be enough. But the problem, though, is that once they hit energy absorption and once they lock onto the War Factory, that's going to be a really bad news. All right, looking at the other side, we are seeing rhinos. Very interesting choice. Maybe it's just for chaff clear? Chaff clear and a bit of tanking? Not too sure. I wouldn't mind getting Rhino. No, it doesn't have Final Bliss, but it might be too risky though. The Rhino, like this one right here, is too close to the army. All right, War Factory doing work. Typhoon with item also doing work. But there's the tower. This steel ball is not dying. Here's the other tower. Oh, this War Factory is not going to survive, is it? Oh, that's a low HP steel ball. Okay. Close one. Very scary. Ooh, you actually got the War Factor in the last second. That's really good. It saves you 400 damage to your HP, or 600 damage to your HP. Alright, we got double melting point coming from red to answer this War Factory threat. For blue, 4 level 4 fangs. Oh my god. Imagine if you took Assault Fans and then you get a 4 level 4 fans drop right in the next turn. That would have been crazy. But we can't go back in time, so we're gonna have to deal with what we're given. I wouldn't mind getting melting points here. Fire Badgers is also decent, especially in dealing with late chaff, but I don't think he needs more chaff clear. I think these Typhoons are gonna work just fine. What he does need is some chaff of his own. Right now, he only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 No, he has more chaff on this side, but on this side, he's only got 3 squads of crawlers. These guys are going to get killed pretty fast, which means the rest of his army is going to be exposed to these steel balls. Alright, here comes energy absorption. They're going to latch on to some of these larger units, and they will never die. Another war factory goes down here to help partially with killing these rhinos, but also another bar partially just to deal with the chaff. War Factory is pretty decent against an aggro player because it gives this ability to use 4 of his cannons instead of just trying to, because your opponent's units are running towards you. So that gives a double damage. Alright, Typhoon doing great. Rhino's already down. This melting point is going to get a lot of value. Ooh, this is going to be rough because we're going to have level 3 steel balls after they're done with this Vulcan. Not Vulcan, the Typhoon. Yeah, it's going to latch on, and this War Factory is never going to kill these 2 balls. On the other side, they seem to have a bit of a chaff clear problem. And because it's got a chaff clear problem, then he's got steel balls that died a little bit too fast. But unfortunately, blue is not going to take this round. We still have 3 steel balls left, and I don't think it's going to make it through the smelting point on the other side. A very close game so far. Both sides are really playing into his own board strength. And this is the sort of games I love to watch, because you never know who's going to win. Heavy armor. Excellent card on another pack of steel balls. And I really think that it's okay to get another pack of steel balls, especially when you're running into war factories. Okay, so it's going to be EM for both sides. EM does make units go slower, and of course it disables this technology. Blue's EM is going to be on the right side, and it's going to be on the same side for red. Alright, let's take a look at the board. Let's see what we can do to make them better. With blue, one thing you'll notice is that red has a very bad late game chaff clear. Which means if you have fans here, or even late arriving fans walking in, or just super late crawlers all the way against the backside, it's going to cause quite a bit of problem. But they're steel balls, which is currently the biggest threat on this side of the board. These rhinos are not going to survive long enough to provide late game chaff clear, so that's a no-brainer. And red, realizing that problem, is now adding Vulcan. But with Vulcan being so close on the line, I'm not convinced that if you have crawlers all the way in the back here, he's able to do effectively against that. So for blue, I think just keep leveling your units. Your carry units are very strong at this point, but you do need to have late arriving chaffs. With red, I think having late arriving chaff clear makes a lot of sense. He does have improved steel balls, and they're quite leveled, which means as long as you can get rid of the chaff, then these steel balls should be able to carry you for the rest of the game. Right, so just kind of watch, right, with these steel balls. Right now, what are they shooting? These guys are on target. They're going to get to that war factory. These guys are not on target because they got distracted. But once they are on target, as you can see right here, ooh, they just didn't get charged up fast enough. And this is a level 2 war factory. But that's okay. We have melting point that's on target. He's going to get that guy. But unfortunately, it's not able to get to the Phoenixes in time. So with just a single puny Mustang that is, ooh, maybe, the Great Tower timing, and it's going to get the Phoenixes and is going to win him this round. Okay, looking at both sides, I think the problem continues. The reason that these steel balls are doing so well, oh, another heavy armor, but I think it's got to be tank production line here. These steel balls, they were doing so well last round purely because the chaff was disappearing way too fast. I do like the steel ball production here from blue with mech div. It is a very unorthodox way of getting late game chaff, and that is also very effective in this composition. All right, so we got 3 War Factory now with range, and this is when things really start to come together. With range against the board that's walking towards you, almost guarantees that 4 of these cannons will be firing all the time, so effectively doubling the War Factory's damage. Leveling them up also is great because War Factories scale a lot faster than Steel Balls, which means every level of War Factory and the damage increase requires 2 levels from Steel Balls to match. Alright, what can red do? Well, first of all, there's going to be oil. That is going to stop most of these crawlers, if not all of the crawlers, from getting through. But it also kills some of his own crawlers, so it's a bit of a double-edged sword. On the other side of the board, there was some weakness in the later stage of the game with those phoenixes, but it seems like the phoenixes were sold. Yep, nowhere to be seen. And it's just now up to these 3 War Factories. War Factories with range are very scary. Just look at how they're cleaning up everything here at the front. And without those rhinos, and those were actually their early game chaff clear. So without those, these steel balls are just kind of stuck shooting chaff and also crawlers from the mech div. So this is going to be a huge round coming from blue. I don't think it's enough to kill red outright, but it's going to bring him down to under 300. Man, these steel balls are powerful. Not only they got mech div, but also the range, I believe, is coming from... No, they just... It seems like they're shooting really far for some reason. Oh, just because they're improved steel ball. Wow, that actually took him out in one single turn. That is crazy. It shows you the power of these war factories with range. A very complex game. I think both sides were kind of struggling with figuring out what exactly they need. It's not just a simple, yeah, you need more chaff or you need more chaff clear. It's more of when do you need those units, right? So for blue, what they really needed was late arriving chaff, and he figured it out in the form of steel balls with mech div. Red needed late arriving chaff clear, and these Vulcans are just a little too forward. They got targeted down immediately. If the Vulcans were kind of standing behind the tower with range, they should be able to help those steel balls to clear chaff a little bit faster. Well, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I got another one that's even better. Check it out, and I'll see you on the next one.
Prepare your tactics. Mechabellum's calling. Deploy your fortress. The battlefield's alive with swarms.